Hello everyone, this is Nick from More Skills, Bushcraft Survival Adventures here. Thank you for joining me. Today I wanted to go through water filtration with you. As you know, the human body goes through 2 to 3 litres of water a day on an average day in average weather. That's not taking into account heat or extreme cold. So we need a good, safe way to clean our water and make it so it doesn't make us sick. So I'm going to show a few methods. Stay tuned. So out in front of me here, I got a few ways to clean your water. One method I will show as well, I've done a video on. One way to make a very effective long-term water filter is by making yourself a tripod, get an old t-shirt, which I have here, some grass, some sand and some charcoal, and then you can construct yourself a very good filter from that. And I'm going to show you how to right now. You will still have to boil your water, but this will get a lot of the turbidity out and even some chemicals if you put enough charcoal into it, because the charcoal will leach out any of the chemicals out of the water. So here we go, I'll show you how that's done right now. There we go, there is our semi-permanent water filter system using the tripod and the t-shirt. Of course, all I'm missing now is the grass at the top. That is my coarse filtration. Charcoal in the middle, that is my medium filtration, and that'll also take out some of the chemicals from the water. On the bottom you have the sand, which is your very fine filtration, and that basically will take out a lot of the contaminants from in the water. I would still boil my water, but in a bind, if you don't have any means of fire, you can't make fire, that will satisfy you and take out some of the risks. So that is your water filtration tripod. Bear in mind that you still have to boil that water once that goes through that. So that's one good method. Here's another good method for you. Lifestraw, $20 from Mech. They may be even cheaper now, but this will do up to 2,000 gallons, I believe. Fits anywhere, fits in your pocket, fits in a bag, absolutely anywhere. And all you got to do with this is take the lid off, put the wide end in the puddle or wherever you're drinking the water from, and just suck. And basically, yeah, it's idiot proof. It's nice and simple. A buddy of mine used to bring one of these with him for his water filtration, and he'd just get a bucket of water out of the lake and then just sit there sipping on it. Yeah, the only downside to these are they have a life. That's it. Basically, that's the only downside to them. They filter out 99.9% of waterborne pathogens. Brilliant little bit of kit. Just got to keep an eye on how much you drink through it. Next one, good old Steri pen. This here is a UV based way to filter your water. So what I would do is I'd have 1 litre of water here. I take my lid off. Oh, and not spill it everywhere. So I got 1 litre of water here. Take my lid off, take it off the cap. As you can see, has a wand and has a light system. That's a good thing about this filter here. It's kind of idiot proof in a way, because they give you, when you get the instructions, I just bought this so I haven't used it yet, but with the instructions it comes with the light system on it. So it'll tell you when the batteries are going to run out. It'll tell you if your light source is in the water. What else does it tell you? It tells you when you got a successful water treatment. Tells you when you have 100 uses left. So it's a good little bit of kit. And basically all it does is a UV light. You put that in your water, stir it around, and that basically kills and deactivates all the pathogens in the water. It takes 90 seconds for 1 litre of water, and you get 3,000 uses out of this. That's 3,000 times the light goes off. So it's a good little bit of kit. I'm yet to use it. I've just bought it, so I'm just kind of learning how to use it now. Firstly, to use this, you would want to filter your water through a piece of material or one of these Steri pen filters that you can buy. So this one here's got an attachment for the bottle. It's a bit finicky to get the bottle thing, the bottle attachment on. But I tend to use this for putting water into my saucepan too. So I'll just have this underneath my water source, and the water source will go into the filter, take out any of the big particulates and the turbidity. I'll go through those at the end, and then I can boil my water, but I'll go through that after. So there you go. I put my water into my bottle using this, fills it up, blah blah blah. Use my Steri pen, 90 seconds in the water. The light will tell me when it's done. Bob's your uncle, my water's safe. Downsides to this: the bulbs can be fragile. They also have a life of 3,000 nights, and it's battery powered. This one here actually has a battery system, so it tells you when the batteries are low, which is great. So always carry spare batteries with it. Some of them don't, so just keep that in mind. And yeah, so, and that's about it. That's the only cons I can see with this. It's nice and small. The water that'll fit in my pocket too. Compare it to the lifestraw, it's about the same size. And of course, this filter here has many uses, multiple uses. You can use that for many stuff. So that's a Steri pen system. I'm yet to use it. I'll let you know what I think of it. Of course, a couple of honourable mentions. The pump style filters you see a lot of people using. They're a good means of filtration. They filter out 99.9% of pathogens too. But some of them can be big, bulky. They can break. There's a lot of moving parts to some of them, and frankly, I don't like them. I don't like them, to be honest. That's why I haven't forked out for one. They can be expensive too, and they also have a life on them as well. Some of them some of the more expensive ones you can clean the filters, but a lot of them it's a case of you've got to change the filter every so many gallons or litres of water you put through it. So that's just something I don't like about those. Another means is a gravity fed filter. This is just like a bag that has a filter right at the bottom of it, so you fill the bag up and the nozzle's right underneath that filter. So when you turn on the nozzle, the water goes through the filter, it filters out all the pathogens and turbidity, and then you have your clean, safe water to drink. Great little compact system, fits in the bag, perfect, lightweight, not anything to go wrong with it. That one's pretty much idiot proof too. But again, that has a life. For the simple reason is that, yeah, the filter, it's a filter, so you've got to take the filter out, clean it, or replace the filter every so many gallons. Hence, yeah, that's why I kind of don't like it as much. But I'm looking to get a gravity filter eventually because it's just convenient. Next means is material and boiling. Material filters and boiling. So when I say material filters, here's one method here. This is my homemade millbank bag. The millbank bag used to be employed by the British Army, and all it was a very fine weaved canvas bag, and you basically put the water inside it and it filters out your turbidity. And once you filter that turbidity, the water goes straight into your pot, and you boil the water, and there you go, Bob's your uncle, your water's nice and safe. So that's just my little homemade millbank bag there. I've got two layers of canvas there. It's not as fine weave as the millbank bag, but it'll do the job. It'll take the turbidity out of my water for me. And all I do there is just put in the water, hang it up at the tree, let the water run out of it until the water reaches down a few inches, so it flushes the bag out, and then I just let it run into my pot, and that's it. So that's my little homemade millbank bag. You can get these online still. I wouldn't recommend the military ones because they found that there is a bad cancerous compound made inside those now. But a company called Brown's Bushcraft, I believe, make them online. They're a newer system, and there's no nasty chemicals in those. So check those out. It's a Brown's Bag, it's called. I'll link the company down below. Building on the Brown's Bag method is simply the most common method I use, to be honest, and it's just run my water through a filter of some sort, which is this type of one, or a t-shirt. This is a piece of a t-shirt I used earlier for the tripod, and all I'm going to do with that is I'm going to put that around my pan or my water container, set it down, and then I'm going to pour. This is turbid water. I'll go through the meanings of each thing afterwards. You can see there's bits and stuff floating in it, and all I'm going to do now is I'm going to pour that through the t-shirt and use the t-shirt as my main particulate filter. And that'll catch a lot of the big problem pieces that are floating around in that water. So I hope you can see that. The t-shirt's caught some big pieces there. So you don't want to be ingesting that, because that'll irritate your gut and give you some bad stomach cramps. But now, if I look inside, you can still see it's got a brown tinge to it. But you boil that up, that's going to basically everything's killed. Everything will be killed in there. So as I mentioned, then once I've done that, I'll put this on the stove and boil her up. So let's get it going. Let's show you what a rolling boil looks like. And while that's heating, I'll go through another method and some honourable mentions. So I hope you can hear me over the gas stove here. If you're in an unfortunate situation and you can't boil your water, these are some great things to keep in your survival kit. These are basically aqua tabs. You basically use 2 in 1 litre of water, and that'll kill everything inside that water. Basically 99.9% proof as well. Of course, you've got to be careful when you do this method. Make sure you somehow clean the lip of your water bottle, because these won't clean that lip. So whatever you're putting in the water, if the outside is still dirty and you still have a bit of water on there, you want to make sure it's clean before you drink from it, or transfer the clean water to a clean vessel. So that's the little aqua tabs there. You get these are basically chlorine tablets. Chlorine will basically kill everything, apart from the big particles, which I just showed you how to filter out. You can get iodine tablets too. Iodine is okay, but I wouldn't recommend it for the simple reason it doesn't kill the smaller pathogens in the water. I've got a plane going over right now. You can also get these in liquid form too. So it's just something to keep in mind, just options for you. Yeah, these you don't need to require boiling. Just filter out the big particles as always, and then throw them in your bottle, shake it, and then make sure the lip's clean afterwards. So that's your aqua tabs. They're nice and cheap. I keep a set of these in my survival kit and a set in my first aid kit. So I've always got a set with me. I forget how many they come in. They're pretty cheap too. Pretty cheap to buy. Let's go through the 5 contaminants of water and put them into perspective from what we were talking about earlier. So first one you want to worry about is turbidity. That is your large particles, your large sediment inside the water. That's going to go into your stomach and basically irritate the stomach lining and give you real bad cramps. So you want to filter them out using one of the methods I showed you earlier. Number 2, you have your pathogens. That is your protozoa, your bacteria and your viruses. These come in the form of Cryptosporidium, Giardia, which is beaver fever, and there are many more that I can't lift off today. And of course, depending on what country you're in, there's some particular nasty ones that you want to worry about. So, how do we get rid of those? Like I said earlier, using these filters. using the Steri pen. Basically anything that kills it or deactivates the pathogens. That's how you get rid of that. Or boiling. Boiling is basically the only 100% reliable method of killing pathogens. You got to get your water to a good rolling boil, as I'll show you in a minute, and just leave it boiling for a few seconds. And when this boils, I'll show you that. Last but not least, the fifth means of contamination in your water are chemicals. If you live near farmland, or if you harvest your water from next to a road, things like that, all the nasty chemicals that are coming off the farmland into the streams could be in that water too. And the only method of getting the chemicals out of that water is by using a good charcoal filter, a good solid charcoal filter that will basically suck out all those chemicals from it. So try not to harvest water from any land that's near farmland or runs from farmland, because yeah, it's the chemicals and it can do a real nasty job on you. So that's your 5 basic contaminants of water, and that was how to filter it. So just wait for this to boil now, and I'll show you a good rolling boil. There you have it. There's a good rolling boil for you. Nice big bubbles, lots of nice big bubbles. You only need to let it boil for a couple of seconds, as everything will be killed in that way before that's even boiled. So that's a rolling boil for you, and that water would be nice and safe to drink now. I would just oxygenate it a bit more, just to give it a bit of a better taste. The last thing I want to talk about today is urine. Should you drink it or should you not? You see it on all the survival shows, guys drinking urine, especially Bear Grylls. He's got a bit of a fetish with it. I've done it a couple of times, but out of stupidity, just for a laugh. Yeah, it's another story. But in a survival situation, should you do it? Simple answer is, unless you're in dire need of fluids, no. The simple reason is, think about it. You're extremely thirsty and you're dehydrated. What colour is your pee going to be at that point? It's going to be a dark yellow, nearly a red. Red. If it's a red, you got issues. But it's going to be a dark yellow. It's not going to be very nice at all, and it's not going to offer you much benefit when it comes to hydration. It'll be good. It will wet your lips a little bit, but you're just putting any of the nastiness that's inside your body that your body's trying to get rid of. You're basically just putting it back inside your body again by drinking your urine. So the short answer is, don't drink your urine unless you're in a dire survival situation, and you need to just keep yourself going. So that's the last subject for today. Thank you for joining me, and keep an eye out for more subjects.